everyone. Welcome to episode 6 of The Roots of Africa. I hope last week you enjoyed Ghanaian culture. Today we are going to talk about South African traditional culture and hope you'll enjoy yourself. Sit back and enjoy. Welcome. This Easter, welcome and spend your Easter holidays at Adera Safari Lodge in the vast savanna of Kedepo Valley National Park, Uganda. We provide you with exotic ambience of beautiful cottages, rooms and swimming pool at affordable rates of $125 for Uganda resident per person sharing and $150 for foreigners at full board. We also offer memorable and restful transformation safaris and a tour to Karamoja. Adera Safari Lodge, everything right where you need it. We love having you here. For more information, contact our telephone number below.
Greetings to the viewers. My name is Yandisa Sokhanyile. I am from Mount Aleph. I am Xhosa.
Princess Tshepi from the Royal Batloka Nation in South Africa. I am the Vice President of IDO Network in SADC. I'm also the Second Assistant Secretary General within the Executive Committee of the Royal Batloka, where my portfolio, the responsibilities are strategic partnerships and entities. And also beyond that, I'm also the founder and the executive chairperson of Future Leap Foundation, which is a nonprofit making organization that looks after the community development projects and programs, which is the responsibility of us as cultural institutions and also as royals. Thank you.
Greetings, yes. My name is Prince Tumelo Tsotetse of the Royal Batloka Nation.
Firstly, are you a person that loves fashion? Your background, why you fell in love with fashion quickly before you get to the work that you do and the projects that you're currently working on?
Fashion in the South African culture, it is one element that we all love because we grew up knowing that all what we are wearing, that is our fashion. And now we are seeing that there is the trends where we are developing it and it is evolving, where we are no longer just wearing them as ceremonial, but also we are infusing our fashion even in our workplace, even in the professional spaces, or even when we have our evening events or the gala dinners. And what I love about it, it is because of such that it does not grow old. You can always find something that is old and ancient, and yet you find it's still relevant. It looks so unique and so beautiful. We have seen, for example, now I work a lot with the rural projects for rural women development, where we are working with the beads work. And as Batloka, as Basotho, we do the beads very differently. When you look at East Africa, when you look at West Africa, you'll find that there's a difference. If you look at my neck, these pieces are made by those women. If you look at my crown, it is made by my mom. And so you'll see that, yes, our colors and the patterns, they are different. They are different the way we do. So what I love is that now also with the fashion side of things, you have seen the handbags that have been made out of beads. We have seen the male tie, a tie that you can wear in the office and it's made out of beads. We have seen also, remember gold also, it is one of the parts of the arts material, our craft material that you can use. So we have our bangles as well that are made out of our gold that is found in Africa as well. And then we use everything. There is also something that we use to make our bangles. As you can see, these are the beads, but we use grass as well. And that is all fashionable because you can accessorize with whatever that you are wearing, even in the marketplace. I'm a person who loves, executive clothing mostly. And in everything that I wear on daily basis, whether it's on my webinars, there's always one of our indigenous craft material pieces that I wear, whether my earrings, whether my crown, or even all my necklaces are made out of beads. So also that goes with our skin. There are people that are sensitive to the gold or the silver, whatever that, you know, of the metal. So then I found that there is comfort and there is this, you know, that it can never be out of fashion, the beads. And they go with any color that you can, because you can mix them, do the color blocking with the beads. And moreover, I have noticed that also we are able to make our women to be export ready through the skills development that we have undertaken in our rural development, through all the women enterprises that we are growing. So we have made them, train them on the basic business management skills, all inclusive, so that, remember, art is about the story. It's not really just the piece. It's not really just something that you can give to anybody. Whoever the mother that has made it, there's a story behind it. How long have they been making it? What did they use? What was going on at that time? What made them to use the yellow and the blue and the green? What made the other one to choose cream white and brown? What was in their mind? And when they tell you as they are making as well, it is such a phenomenal experience. And also what happens is that they gather the girls as they are making, they are also, these young girls are the apprentices. So our mothers are the mentors. They are not even aware that as they are doing business, they are also passing on these skills that are so unique and that they have made them to you know, people like ourselves to go to school, to be who we are today. And yet they have just been making this art craft in all its different forms. So today I'm just focusing on the bead work that we are doing through Future Lift and all our other partners. And we now have arrived at the level where we have made them to be export ready. And we know that the markets are ready for us to do, looking at this potential of manufacturing of the beads ourselves here in South Africa, in our rural areas, so that we preserve this culture, we preserve the rights, and we are making sure that they have ownership as well. And the other part, Yandisa, just as I conclude, is the infusion of your fourth industrial, which is where you come in, and that you are going to explore further, because this is how now we are moving our culture, as ancient as it is, but we are evolving with it to bring it to modern, so that it's appealing to the youth, it's appealing to the professional person, it's appealing to the international market as well, in all business sectors, whether it's hospitality, film, and you name them all. Thank you.
Welcome to yet another episode of Learn Swahili via movies.
There are 3 words that we're going to be focusing on. Muda, which is time, Mungu, which is God, and mapema, which is early or earlier.
Your heart is just like mine.
Okay, fine. I'll marry you. Now let them be free.
I'm serious about you. I want to marry you.
Someone is going to die.
Huku kwetu ni mwanamke asubiri alete mwanamume amuoe, si wewe unakwenda kumtongoza.
To subscribe, go to App Store, Google Play, download the app, subscribe, learn Swahili and enjoy Swahili entertainment. Do not miss the 30% offer this Easter holiday, valid until 9th April.
Great, Princess Tshepi. I was actually going to come to that in terms of looking at what we have as the different cultures. So we have all the different cultures as a continent. Okay, just South Africa alone, and then we've got the continent. What do you think there is an opportunity in the global space for these women? Is there an opportunity that we can leverage on to put our different cultures into fashion and then into the export market? You're already starting with the beads, but the whole overall ecosystem and the opportunity that exists for African fashion, where would you say it's where you see an opportunity? You know, an example, a seamstress that is sitting in Tsofimvaba, wanting to go global, wanting a bigger opportunity. Where do you see opportunities for African fashion and African cultural fashion going global?
On the 1st of January 2021, we saw the launch of the free trade agreement in Africa. That also as people that are advocating for indigenous, as people that are advocating for women businesses, we saw an opportunity right there to say now the doors are open for all inclusive to come in. This is the space that I've already been really playing at with our international partners. And also within that space, we have registered my commercial business, Tshepi, in the USA. This is to take our South African fashion, our African fashion to those people that are in the diaspora, so that whenever they want to see their umpako, they know where to find umpako. And we are able to even be exporting and to make it for them to still be expressing themselves through their fashion. When you are talking culture, you're talking the expression of who you are, wherever you are, that it just tells. You know, you can imagine when you are walking in Los Angeles and you are seeing somebody in Solanka or in Umpak, you already can smile to that person. So that is how we have made ourselves to be ready. And with these doors that are open now, we are able to play in that space. We have already been doing, you know, locally. And now with the doors that have opened and with the free trade zone in Africa, even we can do intra-Africa trade, where our women can be trading with women in Kenya, exchange, and then the women in Tanzania. Because when you look at so on the fabric side, we have Sishweshwe, we have Matoisi, we then have Chitenga, which most of my garments actually, I sell Chitengas as well from Zambia. I love them so much. So we have those as well, where we want to tap into textiles as well. In the Eastern Cape, there's an organization also that manufactures their own textiles and then takes through the whole value chain up until she can export. She's very ready. She's been trading and she's one of the businesses that are very advanced. So now what I'm saying is that we take the champions that already have gone the path and we make them to be the ones that are mentoring the upcoming rural or grassroots businesses. And I'm gonna still say, unfortunately, women businesses, because this is where we want really to see our communities being developed, because it has been quite a long time that our rural or grassroots women have been left behind. The free trade agreement has given us now opportunities. That potential where we are saying, now we can make films ourselves by showing exactly the pure material that is, when we say purely South African made, we know that is not fake. It is really pure quality. We can do our own film in our own languages, wearing our own clothes, and then it can be translated. We have now Malume Google, who translates as well. So that is how I'm seeing the whole value chain into, from development up until the manufacturing, infusing it with the fourth industrial, the exporting, and then we do the whole business in, you know, and starting by us right through for us, benefiting us as well. And of course, our partners. You know what? There is so much money that we don't need to be greedy about it, and we need to all share the space. What would be Ubuntu if we are not the people that share? Ubuntu tells us that we need to share prosperity, we need to share what we have. Your neighbor cannot lack while you have. So remember, we are also people of culture. We are people that live the principles and the values of Ubuntu on a daily basis.
Remember to listen to Star Radio every Friday at 3 p.m. GMT time, 6 p.m. East African time, hosting our kings, queens, princes and princesses, African leaders, investors, talking about the roots of Africa. And follow us on Aido Network International social media platforms and Raya TV social media platform.
And yes, so what I'm wearing today is the one of the garments or blankets that we make in Batloka that we put on as our traditional regalia. So there's different names because they are made with different patterns and they have different meanings, obviously, to it. And you know, it's very interesting that we touched briefly on how people who may not be familiar or may not know what it means may actually misrepresent, you know, some of our cultures because of lack of understanding. But what I'm wearing in short today, this one is called Siana Marena. correct translation in English is swearing by the chiefs. So the design or the pattern here on this one is the corn-cob pattern. So the meaning of that, the symbol itself is understood to mean fertility and wealth, which also is a description of how our elders used to live back in the days. So you can see that also we do not come from a background of lack of poverty, but even with that original understanding, our elders used to live and thrive in an environment of fertility and wealth, based on the agricultural environment which they thrived in. So I'm also, maybe to continue in my description in terms of what I do, I'm also a head of the Finance and Economic Development Working Committee of the Federation of Batloka Council, which is an independent body that represents about 24 traditional councils. And I'm heading up the Finance and Economic Development. In my other capacity, I'm chairman of the board of the Institute of Business Advisors in Southern Africa. It is a professional body that is accredited by the Qualifications Authority. And our main mandate there is to grade and accredit business advisors and other professionals who provide essential business services, including mentorship and coaching, mainly to the small and medium enterprises in South Africa and across the Southern African region. Thank you, Madam.
Talking about the work that you do and fusing fashion and culture together, how are you supporting the rural communities? Because you said even in our history, we come from a place of abundance. How do we ensure that we take the culture that we have, because our culture just on its own is abundance, and the talent that we have within the communities. So how can we actually even lack? So what is the role that you guys are playing in this space where you are mentoring or helping the community to grow especially in the traditional clothing or fashion or textile industry?
Oh yes, of course. So what has happened, I think, over time with the civilization is we have neglected some of the core and fundamental beliefs, even in our own clothing systems. But traditionally you will find that women within our culture have always been involved in this fashion work, which they have been doing and using our own cultural backgrounds. But given the current state of affairs, where you find that the issues of unemployment are actually plaguing our society at the rate that they are, what we have done up to date was to identify the unemployed youth that we can bring into the businesses that were traditionally led by women only, so that they can learn these skills, because the skills themselves are transferable skills, and you don't want it to be exclusive only to women within our cultural space. So what we have done is to bring in youth into the space from these rural areas that have already been mentioned, where our traditional councils exist and our traditional leadership. And that has proved very successful. Some of our youths have actually find ways to integrate this with the relevant and nowadays fashion trends, which is quite interesting, because that is exactly what you need, so that while we bring in the cultural setting, that we do not lose, touch with the reality of the day that we live in. And the youth are playing a very critical role in this regard. A lot of work still needs to be done in this regard, because as I said, we have almost forsaken some of our old ways of doing things. So, it starts firstly with the change of the mindset, to help and make the youth understand that this is still relevant and this is very important. In fact, our whole future now almost depends on how we re-engineer our own traditions, our own cultural beliefs, so that we can thrive in the new and modern world. So that's what we have done so far in terms of the youth. And also we have done and provided business management courses to the women that are running enterprises in these rural areas. And this is something that we're looking to build on going forward as well, and maybe later on we want to bring in incubation programs, for these women and youth, integrated businesses, so that they can be developed further and be in a position to take advantage of the opportunities that we perceive.
You may advertise your business on AIDO Roots of Africa program by sponsoring a slot on TV or radio. And if you wish to donate content on Roots of Africa, kindly donate using the link below, or contact marketing at info@aidonetwork.org. This Easter, welcome and spend your Easter holidays at Adera Safari Lodge in the vast savanna of Kedepo Valley National Park, Uganda. We provide you with exotic ambience of beautiful cottages, rooms, and swimming pool at affordable rates of $125 for Uganda resident per person sharing, and $150 for foreigners at full board. We also offer memorable and restful transformation safaris and a tour to Karamoja. Adera Safari Lodge, everything right where you need it. We love having you here. For more information, contact our telephone number below.
One last question. You spoke about misrepresentation of our culture, and if an outsider would come and, it's the importance of knowing the meaning of our culture, of our items, our garments and everything. So it goes to intellectual property. Is there a way where we can protect what is rightfully ours as Africans? Do you think there is a way where we can actually protect, and do we transfer enough knowledge to the young people and the importance of that, so that even when they are taking this clothing and making it fashionable or bringing it into the new era, it still has the significance and the meaning? Do you have programs, and how important is that going forward?
Yes, and what we have done as the Royal Batloka, we have registered a non-profit organization, which is called Royal Mantatis Institute. And through this, it's where we are doing research and further expanding on the intellectual property, if you like, that exists among our elders. And after gathering all this knowledge, we will then ensure that it is copywritten. And after that, we will obviously seek to ensure that whatever we do going forward, it is done within the frameworks that allow for that. And also for the people that have the ownership of the value chain, because that's something that we want to encourage as well, that the ownership of the value chain system actually belongs to the owners, the original owners, the indigenous people, our chiefs, our kingships, wherever they are. So we'll ensure that there's actually royalties, because what we're doing is, not only looking at the developmental aspect, of fashion, of culture and tradition, but we're looking at the commercial side of things as well. So as we move on, we promote our cultures and our traditional wear. We need to ensure that we have commercialized this enough, so that the people who are the rightful owners can also benefit, in terms of economic, spin-offs that will result from the further trades and developments that will happen in this space. So yes, we are very keen and we are very happy that we do have this vehicle under Royal Batloka that we are using for this purpose. Thank you.
You may advertise your business on AIDO Roots of Africa program by sponsoring a slot on TV or radio. And if you wish to donate content on Roots of Africa, kindly donate using the link below or contact marketing at info@aidonetwork.org. Well, thank you very much. Thank you very much, our guest tonight, Princess Tshepi, Yandisa, and Prince Tumelo, for giving us an insight on South African fashion and design. Indeed, South Africa has variety. It has vast tradition. And you'll hear more about the second episode because it was just too much. Thank you and stay put for the next episode. And thank you very much. Enjoy your evening and God bless you.
Makina